So we got the new nothing phones. These ones are called the 2A, and the A, just like for some other manufacturers, implies budget. Who else does A? Well, Google does A. A means budget, and the budget here is $350, and that's really the headline for this particular product, because in the budget phone space, sometimes you don't have the coolest looking phones. I think the nothing angle here is, hey, this is gonna look a lot like our flagship, and it's gonna have that same Glyph interface on the back, except you're gonna pay a lot less. For this unboxing video, we have all 3 colors in front of me, and at first glance, I was like, is there even 3 colors there? Why are you guys telling me there's 3 colors? But yes, these 2 white colors are slightly different. This one is white, and this one is called milk. If I had to look at the 2 of those and try to guess which one was white and which one was milk, I mean, I could flip back and forth as far as determining which is the milkier white. That's obviously a commitment to the color white here by having 2 separate options, which are extremely similar. But probably if I had to pick based on the box color, I might take the milk. Of course, we've also got the black one, and we've even got a tempered glass screen protector that Nothing is now selling for the 2A, which probably means you have a fairly flat display that you can install the glass screen protector onto. Now, what else do we know about this phone? Well, it has a MediaTek chip in it, and that's how you're getting that price tag down to $350 USD. Here we can see 12 by 256 for RAM and storage. It's also gonna charge back up pretty quickly, but they did have to leave out wireless charging to save a few bucks. On the back, we have an ultra wide and a 50 megapixel camera, and the ultra wide was pulled from the flagship Nothing device. Okay, let's pull the little tab. They have a special unboxing experience. Pull the red tab. Lovely stuff. Don't worry, I'm gonna open all of them, and you guys can tell me which color you prefer. So the internal box is actually pretty nice as well, with this like textured material here. And there's a unique character to the 2A, these robotic looking eyes. So this lifts up. Welcome to Nothing. Well, isn't this exciting? Moments like this are why we're here. $350 phone. Internal packaging, it's like a paper cardboard style material. You're trying to find efficiency all over the place. The cable is nice. Clear section, small Nothing branding, C2C of course, and white. Now, even though this is a big phone, it's actually fairly lightweight because the materials in use have changed as well without having glass or metal, though they've done a good job of sort of mimicking the glass metal effect. So we have this matte plastic for the frame, everything necessary to get that price tag down to something that's more affordable than the flagship. And if I have to say, just based on the first glances here, it might be one of the coolest looking $350 phones. Obviously, this is a very specific taste, but it's unique and different, and just because you're 350 bucks doesn't mean you can't be unique and different. Looking around the device, Type-C, SIM tray, volume buttons, individual buttons, and then your power switch on the other side. So this display is actually 6.7 inches, and it is AMOLED, and you still get an in-display fingerprint scanner as well. A lot of premium features inside of a $350 device. Also unique, Nothing SIM tool. And that's about it. Pretty simple unboxing, a little bit of paperwork. And one thing I'll say about the black one, it's the most subdued because it's the toughest to sort of see through, like the details underneath, unless you have the Glyph interface going. So today's sponsor is Proton VPN. This is a open source VPN trusted by over 100 million people. Wow. Proton VPN can protect your browsing activity. It will let you, of course, access your geo-blocked content. If you happen to be in a region where you can't unlock the stuff that you want to see, simply switch your region using Proton VPN, and there are no limits on the bandwidth that you use. So you could go ahead and binge watch whichever foreign show you want to watch utilizing your new VPN. Now, of course, the other part about having a VPN is your privacy. Proton does not log or share your data with any third parties. And it's also got a built-in ad blocker, which aims to shield you from malware, ads, and other intrusive website tracking. They've got a total of 2,900 servers in 68 different countries. So there's a good chance you're going to be able to find whichever region you need to be in order to unlock that geo-locked content. Now, the other cool thing about Proton VPN is they have multi-platform support. So whether you're on a PC, Mac, smartphone, or even if you want to install the software right directly onto your router so everything connects to the VPN, you can do that. Now, if the name Proton sounds familiar, it's because this is the same group behind Proton Mail, which is the world's largest encrypted email service. So you can head down to the description and give Proton VPN a try for free, and eventually Once you love the service, you can unlock the premium version to get the highest speeds that they offer. Thanks again to Proton VPN for sponsoring this portion of the video. Same cable, same SIM tool. Okay, I like this one a lot more. This one has a real stormtrooper thing going on. We can see this unique design on the back, the red tab, this character with the 2 central cameras, and then how about this? Black buttons for that contrast on the white frame. And that's on both sides. Yeah, I like this one, but we have one more to check out, which is the standard white. Still with the contrasting buttons. So the box didn't really do justice to the differences. The milk model is less transparent, the panel on the back. So the whites are a little bit different, but also the panel is less transparent. It's more matte. And now I'm changing my mind. I like this one better because this looks more like glass. Mine changed for me at least. I take the standard white and I'm still glad they did the contrasting buttons, but you guys let me know down in the comments, would you choose the milk or the white? It might look subtle to you on camera, but it's mostly about the opacity of that back plate. And it looks more like plastic, honestly. Oh, we're gonna get an opinion from Will because he peeked over here. Milk or white?
They're the same.
Look more closely.
They're exactly the same.
They're definitely not.
Subtle.
What?
I prefer, it's hard. I guess, this one?
That's what I took.
The transparent one?
Yeah, it just looks more like glass, and that looks more like plastic. They're both plastic.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, that's his pick. He was gonna give me his opinion later for sure. So now we all got a little taste of that. A little more pop, almost like if you had a glossy screen on something. So you look at the black text, for example, comparatively, this one is just a little bit more dim. All right, so we have this one booted up, and it gives you your first glimpse at sort of the nothing aesthetic. We have these widgets and the whole black and red thing going on, the dot matrix. Full specifications on the display, 6.7-inch flexible AMOLED, and the resolution 2412 by 1084. 394 is the PPI. And as I mentioned earlier, it's also got in-display fingerprint scanner. Fairly responsive fingerprint scan. Typical. We have to remember we're going down to 350 bucks, so they removed some of those lights. You basically have these 3 up top. I really like this 2-tone on the side. I wish we saw this more often. I think Google was doing some of this stuff with different colored buttons, but it looks especially good on this phone. We will jump into the camera as we normally would. Now in this case, we have ultra wide and 50 megapixel main camera. I guess the 2X is gonna be a crop, and the 0.6 obviously gives us a ton of reach here.
The sound effect was kind of cool.
Yeah, you had your nothing sound effect. Like, those are totally usable images. I love the versatility of ultra wide. I like having it in there. The one thing is the white balance, the automatic white balance looks quite a bit different between the ultra wide and the standard. All right, not such a big deal. I can jump into the expert mode and dial my white balance to whatever I want. We obviously have far more pixels here on our 50 megapixel sensor. I believe the selfie camera is the same as well. Beauty mode is off by default, which I appreciate. And it's a usable selfie that I'll never use. My LinkedIn profile. Go look me up on LinkedIn. Now in video mode, 4K and only 30. 4K 30. Is a video sample, 4K 30. Adjust the exposure, tap on Mo's face. You know what? You haven't been in one of these camera things in a while, hey?
It's been a minute. Also, my voice is gone.
So you took some time off and came back without a voice.
Yeah.
Here is a zoom, but it's just gonna be a crop, and then we're gonna come back out. And if I spin around on my chair and walk in this direction, you can see a little bit more low light testing. Can you focus on the concrete? It'll do, 350 bucks. Listen, in the smartphone business, you're getting a lot more for a lot less, period. I look at this thing, pretty much a symmetrical bezel on there, got a huge AMOLED display. It's an adaptive refresh, so up to 120 hertz. So it's like got stuff that you want let me just open up some YouTube and we'll see how this display looks for some video. Listen to the audio.
It's the closest you're gonna get to a Tesla Roadster at the moment. 12 plus miles per hour, 1,300 milliamp hour
Yeah,
battery.
two speakers.
It has headlights. We've got the Tesla branding on there. Like, it's an official licensed product. You got Mattel, you got Hot Wheels involved. Nice.
Even that, I was like, oh, it's probably gonna have like a tinny little mono speaker, but then you're getting a little bit of sound out of the earpiece as well.
This kind of puts everything that you might want in a scale into one package, including, for the first time, segmented body composition readings. But it doesn't end there. You've got
Guys, it's, you know, if you spend $350 on this, I think you're gonna be all right. Like, I don't know what your expectations are at $350. One of the big issues at $350, the distinctiveness or lack of distinctiveness of the phone. Like, what is the appeal? What is the character of the phone? A lot of them are generic, right? And that's what Nothing's trying to do. They're saying just because you have a $350 phone doesn't mean that it needs to be generic. It can be special or different, and that's what this phone represents. And then the specs are kind of in the wheelhouse for what you would want. You got the big battery, the big display, 45-watt fast charging. It can deliver 100% power in 59 minutes or 23 minutes to 50% power. No crazy animation, very stock pixel other than the sound. And it does say that it's charging rapidly. Now the lights are the lights, you know, marginally useful. They do something, which is indicate to you when you have a notification. I think mostly they're in the same realm of aesthetic, uniqueness, and so on. And it vibrates with the same pattern, just different ringtones that correspond with different glyph patterns. Here's the timer. It's actually just like moving down the timer. Like, I guarantee you can't show me another $350 phone that can do that. Granted, maybe you don't need to do that, but maybe you want to. Some people are gonna call it a gimmick. It does do something, but it's rarely doing anything that your phone couldn't do if it were just flipped the other way around. It's definitely more contrasty. Timer goes off. I maintain what I said earlier, which is that the glyph functionality is mostly about the unique aesthetic. Volume indicator, let's see. Is that cool enough for you, Mo? Check it out. I don't want to hate on it because it's something different. And I see so many phones and they don't do anything different and they're all like a rehash of something else. This is some type of effort. I'm not gonna use the music visualizer. I'm probably not even gonna use the countdown timer, to be honest, but maybe for notifications, and maybe I'll watch it blinking like crazy on a ringtone. It's a bit of fun, you know, not taking yourself too seriously. Just keeps things spicy, keeps things interesting. Definitely makes things more interesting for me looking at all these different phones. And the main thing you're gonna have to learn to live with is the chip, but that's the case with any budget device. And I don't think you're gonna notice it all that much just day to day. It's gonna be more in those labor intensive tasks like gaming, but chances are if you're in the $350 phone market, you already know that that's a place where you're gonna be making a compromise compared to a flagship that costs at least 3 times as much as this does.